butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're channeling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, 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 oh,
Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to bring them up yet.
What is you doing, man?
What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing?
Hey,
Welcome,
hey,
man.
y'all.
Welcome in. Welcome into episode 24
Well, damn.
of the Social Den. We are your hosts, CJ and Sharice. Shout outs to the 18 million in the building already. We appreciate y'all for being here tonight
Hello.
on this wonderful Wednesday.
Can you see?
Yeah, I can see. I had to clean off my specs. Like I said, episode 24 of the Social Den, y'all. We are CJ and Sharice. Thank you for everybody being here tonight. We are going to start this thing off like we always do. Y'all see who our wonderful guests are tonight. And we're going to go down this chat and see what's popping. Tamika Van, welcome in, sis.
Hey, boo.
Claudia Tyree, welcome in.
Claudia, and I also see where you said your day was not good, Claudia. We hope and pray that everything gets better. I think you said you were vomiting. I hope you feel better. I know it's something going around. So make sure you take your medicine, get plenty of rest, and plenty of fluids, babe.
Absolutely. Sonia with the wild, welcome in.
Sonia.
Let's see what else we got up in here. Rain, what's up, sis?
Hey, Rain. Rain says she will not be in the chat. She's on the TV.
Right,
Thank you for being here.
Right. She got us playing on the big screen.
Don't you even say it.
CJ and Sharice in the building as always. Welcome in. Thank y'all for being here as well. Let's see who else we got up in here. Hola.
Hola.
Easy takimas. Hope I said it right. T Lee TV in the building. Welcome in. Welcome in. PBT, what up, Aunt? Welcome in. We
Hey,
appreciate you for
PBT.
being here tonight. Let's see. The Honorable Joni Meeks in the building. Welcome
Joni
in.
Love. Hey, Joni.
Keeping up with the Griffins in the building. Welcome in, fam.
Hi, my Griffins.
Let's see. Who else we got up in here? Bass Chick, welcome in.
Base chick.
We building over here in the building. Welcome in. We appreciate everybody for being here. So we're not going to hold our guests any longer. They've been patiently waiting backstage. Ladies and gentlemen, these two are very dear to our hearts as well. You know, this is one of my man cave brothers. You know what I'm saying? His wonderful, wonderful wife. You know what I'm saying? They came. He was the one that actually broke the ice for that big ass surprise party. Scared the shit out of me while I was on the game. You know what I'm saying? So
What is it? What you doing here, nigga?
yeah. What up, Wally Hustle? Welcome in.
Hey, Wally Hustle.
But y'all, they are YouTubers, of course. You know, y'all all know them. Dope couple. You know what I'm saying? They're kind of like revamping their channel right now. We're gonna get into all of that, but without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, the one and only Tawana and Vaughn, TMV Nation.
What's up? What's
Hey,
up?
y'all.
What's going
Man, the suspense was killing us.
Hey, CJ and Sharice. Hey, everybody in the chat.
What's
Thanks
going
for having
on?
us here.
What's going on? Hey,
What?
Leonica.
Welcome in, Leonica.
How y'all
Shout out
feeling
to
tonight?
everybody in the chat.
How y'all feeling, TMV?
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah, feeling good. How y'all feeling over there?
man, we doing pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, blessed and highly favored. You know what I'm saying? As
Yeah.
always. You know what I'm saying? So we appreciate y'all for being here. You know, it was no question that we wanted to get y'all on the show. You know what I'm saying? I think we got all the Man Cave brothers. That I just gotta get the pass up here now. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. TJ.
Got to get him up here now. But
you might not be able to catch him. He on tour.
Exactly. No, I'm a catcher. I'm definitely gonna catch him. So go ahead and tell the people a little bit about yourselves and your channel, and you know about who TMV Nation is for the ones that don't know.
Okay, so yeah, TMV Nation. We started this channel in the heat of the pandemic, y'all. We were stuck in the house. We were like, we need to do something. And my wife had been watching mukbangs. I had never even heard of mukbangs. You know, I watched other kind of stuff on YouTube, but not mukbangs and all the food related stuff. And so she was like, well, let's do why don't we start a YouTube channel? Let's do mukbang. I was like, what the hell is a mukbang? And so she was telling me, and I was like, wait a minute, people watch people eat food? Like, why would we want to do that? And why would anybody want to watch us? And so she worked on me a few months, and I was like, hey, we ain't doing nothing now. We stuck in the house. Let's do that. And so we got it started. We were doing mukbangs. We were doing all them crazy challenges back then, all them hot challenges. Y'all remember back then, the challenges back then were all the hot stuff, you know, the 2-time spicy, what was that, scorpion Tabasco sauce.
Yeah.
Eat 120 wings in 5 minutes, you know, all that kind of stuff. So so we were doing all that. And what we decided, you know, like you mentioned, CJ, we kind of revamping the channel right now. So we decided, how long ago did we start changing things? You remember?
I don't know. I think it was like the end of last year. Yeah, we decided we were gonna kind of move away from the mukbangs and do more vlogging. We wanted to do more food reviews. You know, I thought we live in Houston. There's so much good food here in H-Town.
Yeah.
So I was like, why don't we just review some of these Houston hotspots? So we've been trying to do more of that and less of the mukbangs because honestly, y'all, we just got we got a little bored with it. So
Mhm.
we were like, if we're bored doing it, we're bored creating it, then, you know, probably the audience is getting bored with it too. So we decided we want to do something different. So we've been enjoying the food reviews. We've been able to eat at different restaurants in Houston. There are so many places. We got a long list, y'all. We can't even get to the places. It's just
Oh, man.
crazy.
Man,
Yeah, but it's been fun.
So
That's
the food reviews and also cooking.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, we've
Right.
been doing some cooking videos also.
Mhm.
And every now and then we'll put out a poll, you know, which one of these y'all want us to cook next. Or
Right.
we just throw together, you know, we just decide this is what we're gonna cook and we go with that.
Right.
Okay. Welcome in, Chocolate Drop.
What up,
How
Chocolate
you
Drop?
feeling, boo?
Welcome in. So revamping the channel. I mean, of course, this could be like help for people too, because you know people probably feeling the same way that y'all feel. You get bored with it, and it can get boring.
Yeah.
My wife and I have voiced that before too. That's why we
Mhm.
started the social den and try to do other things too.
Yeah.
So I mean, what advice would y'all give like up and coming YouTubers, like y'all at this stage? What would y'all give? What advice would you give some up and coming YouTubers that's coming into YouTube?
Well, I would say, you know, the crazy thing is there are so many videos answering that very question.
Mm-hmm.
So at the risk of being redundant, you know, people always say if there's something you love, there's something you have a
Mhm.
passion about, something you enjoy doing, create a channel doing that.
Right.
You know, because that passion is gonna come through. You're
Mhm.
gonna connect with other people who also enjoy that thing and want to watch people doing that.
Right.
And so yeah, that's the best thing to do because you know people decide, well, I'm gonna do this thing. Yeah, everybody else seems to be doing that.
Right.
I ain't really that into it, but I'm gonna do it. That not being into it is gonna show.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know, people don't want to watch you.
Absolutely.
So
Mhm.
yeah,
And like we always say, it's very saturated.
Mhm.
Mhm.
YouTube is very saturated. The mukbang community is very saturated. So like Sharice always says, I mean, you gotta be doing something different. Something
Yeah.
Yeah.
everybody else is not doing to stand out. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that's dope that y'all revamped and because people love review videos. You know, I don't know if y'all on TikTok, but you can. I mean, yes, y'all on TikTok.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, that's a hot spot for like review videos and stuff.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I think y'all can
Yeah.
think about as well. What's up, Aunt? We got Dr. Cowboy in the building.
Hey,
Hey, y'all.
I
Dr. Cowboy.
think that's it. Okay. So, y'all both are therapists, right?
Yes.
Right.
Okay. So, how long have y'all been doing that?
Man, I've been a therapist over 20 years. You longer than me.
Yeah. Coming up on 30 this year, actually.
Long time.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Was that something that y'all always wanted to do? Like y'all knew y'all wanted to do when y'all was younger, or it just just came about?
Me, no. My journey into this was crazy.
Right.
I actually, when I graduated high school, I was dead set on becoming an orthopedic surgeon.
Mm,
I mean, just that specific.
right.
But that pre-med program told me, nah, you might not be ready for this.
Right.
I think I was in my what was it? Oh, my second year of pre-med. And I got a like a 20 something on a genetics test. And I was already struggling to keep up. I was like,
Mhm.
oh my God, this ain't it, man. I can't keep doing this.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
And so I actually switched over to music because me and my roommate were both. I used to play the guitar. My roommate was a keyboardist, and he failed the hell out of that test too. We were both pre-med.
Right.
So we were like, well, let's just switch to music. Like way different, right?
Mhm.
And so I found out if I switch to music, I got to start all over. Like I got to do the whole 4 years. Well, I was already 2 years in.
Right.
So I was like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. And so I decided to do something called general studies. It combines 3 subject areas, and I got my bachelor's in that. And one of those was psychology, one of those subject areas. So that's how I ended up jumping into being a therapist.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of always knew I wanted to be a therapist from like probably high school. So I was always that friend that everybody came to talk to, and they always said, "Oh, you're a good listener. You give good advice." So I was always that person. And then I started to notice, okay, yeah, maybe I do have a bit of a natural kind of talent when it comes to that area. And so I knew right off the bat when I left high school, I was going to go get my undergraduate degree in social work and then get my master's degree and become a therapist. And I did that. And also I had some mental health type of stuff in my family. So I was always exposed to substance abuse and addiction and mental health. And so it was always something that was a priority for me.
Right.
So I always wanted to help people that needed help in those areas. And because people said I was like good at listening and communicating, I follow that passion because it really is. I really love helping people.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, been doing it for a while.
Oh, wow. Good night, Claudia. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, Claudia.
Welcome in, Team Lena. I'm not going to say the reason why, but if everybody could please just put prayer hands in the chat for Team Lena. I just want everybody to try to lift her up in prayer for everything that she is going through. I will leave that up to her if she wants to put it in the chat as to what she's going through right now. But she could definitely use our love and some extra prayer, y'all.
Absolutely. And thank you for being here tonight, sis.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate it. So, go ahead, baby.
What specialty? What do y'all specialize in your therapy? Like, what do y'all see people for?
I'm a trauma certified therapist. So most of the people I see have trauma. Most of the population I work with are women. I do have some male clients, just a few. Probably 90% are female, maybe 10% are male, or maybe even less than that.
Right.
So most of my clients have interpersonal trauma, which is trauma that has occurred in relationships. Many of them have been with people who were narcissists who intentionally abused them. Many of them have childhood issues from family of origin, attachment trauma, abandonment in their childhood. And so when they have those types of attachment issues in childhood, it carries into their adulthood, and they find themselves in similar relationships where they're not getting their needs met, or they're being abandoned repeatedly, or they're being mistreated, or they're being harmed. And so it feels familiar and comfortable to them because that's what they're used to. So I help them identify that's something that they're subconsciously seeking out is really reenacting trauma. And so I help them identify that and break that pattern so they can learn to have healthy relationships. And most importantly, reconnect with the self, because those abusive relationships really damages a person's self-esteem, their sense of self-worth. And a big part of healing from that is getting out of those relationships, breaking those patterns, and building yourself back up and finding your worth within you so that you're not looking for that external validation. And so most of my clients, we're working on that issue. And it's been really effective. Yeah, many of them have made some incredible changes in that area.
That's great.
That's real good.
That's good. That's true, because I mean, I've been around people that were abused by their mates or from family members and all of that stuff. So I definitely. It can mess with your psycho.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely mess with you. So I get it. What about you, Vaughn?
So for me, man, another crazy journey, man.
Mm-hmm.
But my specialty in my practice has been actually black mental health, especially Black men.
Right.
And I got to a point in my career, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, where I said, you know what? I don't work with everybody else. I don't help everybody else. Of course, Black people too, but it's like, I just want to work with my people.
Right.
You know, because we have first of all, there's that stigma, you know, folks think, well, let me just pray it away, or just, I guess my faith ain't strong enough, you know, that kind of thing. And so Black folks often have a hard time admitting that they need to see a professional.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they go in there, well, unfortunately, they face some of the same issues that they do out in society with their therapist.
Mm-hmm.
You know, getting judged, and y'all know the thing about the angry Black man, angry Black woman. I've heard clients say to me that their therapist, their white therapist, would ask them, "Are you sure you're just not overreacting? Are you sure you're not, unnecessarily angry about this situation?" And so I wanted to be that. People want to see somebody that looks like them, that they feel like they can relate, they can relax and talk how we talk. I'm not one of them stiff upper lip, also professional and all this kind of stuff. You got the professionalism, but at the same time, we more relaxed with it.
Right.
Right.
And so my practice was, and I'll tell you why I'm saying was in a minute. My practice was about 99% black, and 95% of them were men.
Wow.
And so, just men coming out the woodwork, especially during the pandemic. It's like, I can't take this no more. I'm stuck in the house with my wife, or I've been dealing with this depression or this anxiety or this whatever for the longest. And I really need to just go ahead and, tackle this. And so, the practice just built up of mostly, damn near all black folks. And I loved it. Now, the reason I said was is, working for yourself, the money ain't always secure, ain't always consistent. And that's in any business, trying to run a business, the money's not always consistent. You ain't got no paid days off at least. That kind of thing. And so I made a decision about a month ago. It's time to close the practice. It's time to go back into what I call the W-2 workforce.
Right.
And so this week, I just started a job as an administrator at a psychiatric hospital.
Oh, man.
I still got my men's group, though.
Mm-hmm.
I started a group of black men, working on black male issues. And so I do that, just one evening a week. So I was like, I'm gonna still do that. I'm not letting that go.
Right. I think that's good. That's definitely needed. I feel like although as black people, we don't really get help when we need it, men definitely don't.
Right.
I don't know what it is or why we were brought up the way that we were brought up. But
why you had to point at me when you said that, though?
I felt like she was pointing at me too, because I'm over here.
This one, I know for sure this is one of them who needs it but won't go get it. But I don't know. I feel like we need to find a way to make our black men more comfortable in getting a therapist and going to speak to somebody, because sometimes those little things are what add up and lead to bigger things. And I know for my husband, I don't care how small it is, or how big it is, he prefers to sweep it under the rug and act like nothing has happened and hope that it goes away. And it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. And that's true, Sharice, even with, physical issues. The prostate could be falling out your ass, and was like, no, I'm all right. They just took it back in.
Oh my goodness. Not falling out your ass.
Pause.
I think definitely a lot of us. And unfortunately, I think when it comes to like the physical part, it's more so with like the health insurance, and that's what stops people from going. They can't pay for certain things out of pocket, so they try to just keep going and going and going, and then it's too late.
Right.
So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, And a lot of people, like you said, people with insurance, people don't have insurance that want to go see a therapist and don't have the money for it,
or a regular doctor,
whatever. So yeah, the system is all.
Let me now that you mentioned that, let me throw out a resource real quick. And I had to actually use this for myself, because again, being self-employed, that marketplace insurance is expensive. But there's a website called sesamecare.com. But you can go on there, and you can see a doctor for $35, $40. Any kind of doctor, specialist, psychiatrist. They got therapists on there, primary care providers. But yeah, we did end up getting that marketplace insurance, but before that, running around here uninsured at my age, it's like I got to see somebody. There are times I need to see a doctor, and it's like I can't go pay $300 to go see the doctor, but I can get on there and do that.
Right.
Yeah. But that's a good. What you call it? What you said it was again?
Let me put it in the chat.
Okay.
Okay.
That's going to be a link. And if anybody in the chat has any questions for the guests for TMV Nation, please put them in the chat. Y'all know how we are. It's a no judge zone here. So don't be ashamed or afraid or scared to put it in the chat. Just throw it in the chat, and we'll ask our guests, and they'll answer it to the best of their ability.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw somebody else just come in. Maybe not.
So I
Okay.
know Uncle Vaughn said that he closed down the practice. Michelle, are you still Tawana? I'm sorry, are you still practicing?
Yeah, I still have a practice. It's all virtual. I have a full practice. I still work from home. And
Okay.
so, yeah, I'm still seeing clients and don't plan on closing anytime soon.
That's good. That's
That's
good.
dope.
And you have you have your own channel as well. And your channel, is that basically off of what you practice?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a recovery channel. It's just called Tawana Michelle, which is my social media name on Instagram and YouTube. And yeah, I make videos related to the things that I work with my clients on. I make videos about healing from trauma, healing from narcissistic abuse. I give informative information about problematic relationships, and so yeah, I still post on that channel. And I also have a beauty channel that I started, I don't know, maybe a year ago. So I'm busy with YouTube. I love YouTube. And what Vaughn said, I think it really does make a difference when you're starting a channel or even maintaining a channel. If you do something that you're passionate about, that you enjoy, my rule of thumb has always been, if I enjoy making this video, then one or two things going to happen. I'm either going to get views, and that's going to be great, right?
Right.
Or I'm not going to get many views, but I enjoyed making the video. And so I make content that I love, and I get positive feedback on my, especially on my trauma recovery videos. And so even if I can help, a handful of people from them watching my content and learning something and getting some type of information that is helpful to them, then I'm going to continue to do that. So, yeah.
Okay. We do have a question for you.
She just answered it.
Oh, she did.
Oh, did I? What else?
She also said, Rain wants to know how she can reach out to you. She was asking if you do virtual sessions, and then she asks how can she reach out to you?
Yeah, actually, I will give my work number. You can either text or call that number. So I don't know if you want to put it in the chat. Either email or call. You can call or text. I think that's the easiest way. The only thing is, I am licensed to practice in Texas, so I only see clients who live in the state of Texas. So that's the thing, but I'll put in there anyway, so that you can reach out. Or if you know someone who lives in this area that wants to see someone, then they can reach out as well.
Y'all getting a lot of good info in here now.
Yeah, keep the questions coming. That'll be awesome. We'd love to answer some questions.
And I actually got 2 starred comments that I'm gonna actually.
Okay, good.
Well,
said Rain never asked him that.
Right. And we all know why, Dr. Cowboy. What's his new name now, by the way? He just changed his name again.
Isn't he Judge?
Judge Cowboy.
Judge Cowboy.
Yeah. So Chocolate Drop said, I think we've been programmed to suck it up and be strong, that we don't know how to identify trauma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I think that is true. We have been programmed to suck it up and be strong because we've had to be, right? As Black people, we have gone through just an unbelievable amount of trauma, and it became just sort of our normal. And in order to continue to function as people, we had to suck it up. We had to do what we had to do, and we had to just be strong and keep pushing. But I'm glad to see that trend is changing, and people are discovering, especially women, and it sounds like men are too, that we don't have to be strong in order to still be okay. We can allow ourselves to be vulnerable. We can allow ourselves to feel whatever we need to feel. We can allow ourselves to experience our emotions and acknowledge that this is trauma, and I can heal from it, and I can recover, and I can still live a good life. I don't have to pretend like everything is okay and that I'm strong, because that can only last so long. You're only strong until you're not anymore, and you only can hold it together until you can't. And then we have these breakdowns, as people, and do all kinds of things, and then we put the mask back on and we try to stay strong. And especially for Black women, I really, the strong Black woman, sometimes we feel good about that. We feel prideful about that. But the reality is, trying to be the strong Black woman has helped us in some ways in terms of mental strength and stability, but at the same time, it's gotten us further away from, for one, our femininity. It's gotten us further away from being able to be soft and vulnerable, not only with our male partners, but also just with ourselves, sometimes with our children, with our ability to recognize that I don't have to hold on to all of this. I can release it. I can let it go. I can allow someone to be there for me. I don't have to hold on to the burden of trying to be everything to everyone. And that's something that we struggle with as women, especially Black women. And we don't have to be. We can give to ourselves. We can nurture ourselves, and we can sometimes, take the crown off and just be soft and just be vulnerable and just be present and just be nurturing. And when we heal from trauma, we're able to do that. And we can change that belief system that has conditioned us to make us think that we have to keep it all together all the time, because we don't.
Absolutely. That's a great point.
It is.
That's a great point. They try to tell, you can't tell somebody how they feel.
Right.
Exactly.
You can't tell somebody how they feel. You're supposed to be, that's crazy to know that therapists judge people like that. Like, that's crazy. Like, I came to you supposed to be a comfort zone for me, and you make me.
Yeah.
That used to be my fear about therapists. Although I've never experienced that with a therapist, that was my fear at one point, why I wouldn't open up and speak to them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, there are therapists like that. As therapists, we see therapists too. It was a requirement when I was in school to become a therapist, which it was so helpful because I had a lot of stuff that was trauma that I didn't even realize was trauma, like, they were saying in the comments. And so throughout the course of my life, I have seen therapists, and I've had therapists, most of them were helpful and neutral, but I have had maybe a couple that were a little judging. And so it's unfortunate that someone would choose this profession and judge people, but they do. And, therapists are human too. That's why we have to be aware of our own biases. We have to be aware of our own issues. And that's why we have to do the work on ourselves. Because if we as therapists are not working on us, then we might project those things onto other people. We might, unintentionally judge. And so you have to definitely work on your own mental health as a therapist, or it's going to affect your ability to help other people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Chocolate Drop said exactly. I had someone basically tell me this. I had someone tell me this, that I need to get over it because it has been so long.
That is horrible. I hope you recognize that when they told you that was not good feedback for you at all, because there is no time limit to healing from something and recovering. And some things you don't get over. You just you grieve it, you go through it, you deal with it. And there's no time limit. So if anybody tells anybody you just need to get over it, that was so long ago, let it go, move on, that's not supportive, that's not helpful, and that's judging, because they're basically saying you should be over this by now, which that doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've had clients tell me, they tell me about these previous experiences they've had. And there was this one female client I had where she said a female therapist told her, because she was complaining about something her husband was doing or whatever, and the therapist said, well, he probably cheating.
Damn.
I'm like, what the hell? Y'all at happy hour or in a therapy session?
What?
Like, why would you say that?
Yeah, that's
Maybe he was. Maybe you thought that, but don't say it.
that's absolutely insane.
There's definitely a line you shouldn't cross.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's wild.
Welcome in, Jamie Abu. Hey, big brother Dre and Michelle.
Hey, y'all. Yeah.
Cowboy has a question for y'all. He said, I have a question for Vaughn. Can you get a job at the hospital?
Text me, man. You got my number.
So silly.
I don't know if I want you there with me, though. You might put on a lab coat and be walking around talking about I'm the doctor.
See
me in the parking lot.
Rain said, joking, not joking. I need you licensed in your home state.
Licensed in your home state.
Mm-hmm.
Rain, you in Louisiana? Oh yeah, rain in New Orleans, I think.
Oh, for real?
That shit.
Uh-oh. Yeah, we actually now can get licensed in multiple states. That wasn't a thing before, but now since a lot of therapists became virtual with COVID, we have the option of getting licensed in other states. And so, hey, that's not a bad idea, right? I would love to be able to work with my own people from my home state. Yeah, I would love that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
There you go, Rain. Look, you making stuff happen.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that, Rain.
That's true. That really is a good idea because back during the pandemic, they started. Now they have been talking about this before the pandemic, but the pandemic just kind of ramped it up. There's this thing called I forgot what it's called, but they're trying to get all the states to be able to say anybody from any state, any therapist from any state can practice in our state.
Right.
But instead of waiting on that, if you want to just go ahead and get licensed in one other state, that's a lot easier.
That. Yeah. But yeah, hopefully they change those licensing laws so that, especially when we're virtual, we should be able to see people in any state. It shouldn't matter.
Right.
Yeah, but they haven't gotten to that yet, but that's definitely a good idea, Rain.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dre said, I don't know if I want to stay for this episode. They co-conspirators. Yeah, I ain't forgot. I do see Tawana, the smart one of the two.
That's so funny.
I wish I had control. I would kick him out.
Not kick him out.
Boy is crazy. So, Uncle Vaughn, with your men's group, how is that something that it can only be men from your state, or is that something that you do virtual and it could be just a bunch of men from all over that get together and help each other? How is that?
It has to be men from within Texas.
Texas, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's dope that you do that though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think men do it enough. Men don't really get together and talk about problems.
Did Uncle Vaughn say pause?
He sure did, girl. he
tried to ignore me.
It never fails. He will always find a pause moment.
Oh, that was crazy.
I can't.
That was wild. But you know what I'm saying? Like, men don't really, I can't even see, you done messed me up. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? No, it's very rare that it happens, unless it's in a barbershop.
Right.
Or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely, I think it's definitely needed more. You know what I'm saying? When, just a bunch of men, like, just
come together.
Pause. No. That was crazy. That was wild.
See, you kind of started now.
Well, what is it then? Have a men's to discuss.
Gather.
A men's gathering to discuss mental health and life experiences.
Come together.
You know what though? You mentioned
won't you join this pause moment, Tony Love? Won't you do it?
Right.
That was crazy. Wow. No, but get like a gathering of a bunch of man, just talking about real stuff.
Yeah,
and getting it off their chest and all of that. So I think it's definitely needed more in the Black community.
But
so a guy who's not 100% comfortable with therapy, if you had that type of group here in Maryland, do you think that's something you would do?
It's about to become about you, CJ.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to know. From a guy who I know
would he do it?
Is that something he would do?
Yeah, I think I would consider that. Because I think it would be good. I think it would be good because a lot of the time Black men are overlooked with a lot of.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They are overlooked a lot. It's like we were raised to be, tough and, oh man, you acting like a female right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I really think it'll be a good thing. And I mean, you can even have some young men there. You are growing to be a grown man.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to probably going through the same things that we in here discussing. So why not start them out early?
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's
And yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned the barbershop, man. That actually there was a movement. I don't know if they're still doing this, but there were some guys before the pandemic.
mhm,
It's funny how everything is a before and a after. But before the pandemic, there were mental health professionals who would, go into some of the barbershops in their home, in their, wherever they lived. Now they didn't do no therapy groups, but they would talk about, let's talk about depression. Let's talk about, and the person doing it would share their own personal stuff,
right.
which made the other guys in the barbershop start opening up.
Mhm.
And I always thought, man, that would be so cool to be able to be that therapist that does that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I actually tried to get that started with my barber, and I think the pandemic hit right after we tried to start that. Because he was talking to his other clients and like, hey, we trying to get this thing done. We called it cuts and chats or something like that.
Right.
But he was gonna be cutting one dude hair while the rest of us talking, and they would just rotate. They're like, you gonna make money, I'm gonna make money. So it's like,
right.
so we just never were able to get it off the ground though.
Yeah. What up, Kayla Ma?
Hey, Kayla Ma.
Kayla Ma in the
Hey,
building.
Lamar.
To the 22 million in the building for episode 24 of the Social Den with our special guest TMV Nation. We are pretty much discussing some real stuff, therapy. And the importance that therapy and conversations, what it means to Black men, and not taking nothing from Black women either, because
Yeah.
women out here go through the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people out here that feel like they don't want to go see a therapist, but they really don't have nobody else to talk to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, it's definitely a discussion, man. It's important. It's definitely important. There's a lot of kids that's dealing with this too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Kids that's bullied in school and never know what nobody's going through at home and all that good stuff. So it's definitely a conversation that needs to be had, and not judged.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's a good point, to normalize therapy for your kids.
Yeah.
Because I know probably a lot of us, we didn't have our parents or anyone talk to us about therapy or even offer that as an option if we were going through anything. And so if you have kids and you notice that they seem like they're dealing with something, or they bring something to your attention that you feel they could benefit from actually seeing a professional, be open-minded and encourage them to do that and normalize that. I think that is so incredible. And getting back to the Black man thing, I had a thought as y'all were talking about just how incredibly healing it is for the Black man who has to, or feels like he has to be tough in so many different areas of his life, and to have a safe space where you don't have to be that way and you can just let your guard down and you can just feel and express and cry if you need to. That is so healing, and that is so needed, especially for Black men, but Black women also, just in general. So I think that's what we really want to do in our community, is to change the narrative and just get the message out there that therapy is okay. It is helpful. It is normal. It doesn't mean you crazy or anything like that. We all have things that we go through, and we need some additional help. And as Black people, whether we are aware of it or not, we all have generational trauma, and it manifests and shows up in our lives in different ways. And so we have to have outlets for that. We have to have safe outlets for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, children, absolutely, them too.
Yep. And I think it's okay to normalize, like you just said, normalize a narrative to where it's like, okay, fine, you don't want to go sit one-on-one with the therapist, okay, but we can have therapy amongst each other.
Yeah.
And this therapy and conversations with
exactly
other people that's that's when it's relatable.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that could be normalized as a narrative as well. For people who don't feel comfortable going to sit one-on-one with a stranger.
Exactly. Yeah. Just the idea of getting comfortable with sharing your feelings and your problems with people in your community that care, that support you. That's therapeutic in itself. So absolutely, you're right about that. You don't have to sit down one-on-one with a therapist to be able to get therapeutic help from your community.
Right.
And then also that's free.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not trying to take nothing out of the therapist pocket.
Yeah, but you're right. Yeah.
It's free and you know, it's right there. So I mean, I just think it'd be dope, you know. And that idea of a barbershop,
Yeah.
you know, a barbershop, barbers, and a bunch of people just talking, a bunch of black men talking about real life stuff. Able to film that and make that like a podcast or something, that would be dope.
That would be.
That would be dope. People would eat that up. Because you already know they already love to see black men converse and get together and have a positive conversation without any mess or drama or
Right.
or being about females and being disrespectful towards females the whole time, talking and all that. So yeah. All right, y'all got me, you know, got me a little. You know, that feel good though, you know.
This man needs help.
That's funny, yeah.
Somebody to analyze his brain. I need to know what's going on in here.
Shout out to the 18 million in the building, y'all. Episode 24 of the Social Den with TNV Nation as our special guest. We are talking about therapy and you know all good stuff that comes along with it. You know what I'm saying? So what I mean, there you go. That's another link. So what's that one, Vaughn?
So these two that I'm putting in now are places where you can go look for a therapist. So you can put in, you know, you put in your area, you put in if you want a female or a male, you want a specific, you know, you want a black person, you want them to work on these specific issues. If you got insurance, check the insurance you have, and then it'll give you a list of people who match all of that.
Okay.
What about the free support groups? What are those called?
That's only here though.
Oh, okay, that's
that I
only in
know of.
Texas. Yeah.
Yeah.
So these links that you're dropping, they are all over.
This is nationwide. Yeah.
Okay.
So there y'all go. 2 links. That's psychologytoday.com and mentalhealthmatch.com. So I hope y'all writing these down, or if you need to come back to the chat or whatever, and go ahead and make that happen if y'all need it. You know, these are resources.
I'm sorry. Yeah, y'all making me think of all these resources, man. I'm gonna keep putting stuff in here. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, good. Go ahead. Knock
What
yourself
you came
out.
up with now?
Therapy for Black girls.
Oh yeah.
Point blank points. PBT said, "I love what y'all are doing, TNV Nation."
Oh, thank you so
Thank you, man.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, therapy for Black girls. There you go. If you work for the state, they know. You got to finish that one. Choppy drop. Yeah, so I mean, Vaughn is dropping a bunch of resources, y'all.
They
So
only have therapy available.
oh, okay. So you know, it's all about resources and just being able to search for certain things. Like Google is your best friend.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Google is huge. Like it's amazing. Like you can go on there and find pretty much anything that you need.
Mhm.
But I understand because it can be tough because some of these sites are scams and
Yeah.
real and all that stuff
Right.
like that.
Mhm.
I believe you can go to like the Better Business Bureau to
Yeah.
see if it's legit or not. So
Exactly. Yeah.
That last one I just put in there, Black Men Heal, they will actually, so they have therapists signed up with them and they'll pay for your first 8 sessions.
Oh wow. What a good resource.
Yeah.
that's dope.
That
See,
is.
that right there is black men wanting other black men to be great.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we want you to be great. So we're gonna pay for your first 8 sessions.
Mhm.
That is amazing.
So you get that help.
Look at
What do you say?
You want to talk to them about EAPs, how they could maybe go to their employer?
Yeah, I was
Because a
about to
lot of
say
people
that
don't
too.
know about that.
Yeah. So on your job, check with your HR, or if you got a website that lists all the benefits and stuff. Check and see if your company has an employee assistance program, EAP, because one of the things they offer also is free therapy.
Mm.
And it's the same. A lot of them are the same therapists that are signed up through your insurance also.
Right.
So, and depending on the company, they might pay for, I mean, I've seen some as low as 1 session, which, that ain't really helpful.
Right.
That gets you in the door actually, but I've seen them as many as 12 sessions. They'll pay
Mhm.
for your first 12 sessions.
Yeah.
EAP is definitely great. That's
Yeah.
EAP.
at my job, and that's how I started therapy. I got to find me
Oh,
another.
wow.
Yeah.
I started there.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna tell
Yeah.
y'all some tricks for using that also. So the way EAPs work, it's however many sessions they pay for, it's per issue. And so if you call the EAP and you say, yeah, I need to go to therapy for anxiety, let's say it's 8 sessions to deal with anxiety, you want to keep going. You say, well, okay, I'm also dealing with depression. That's a different issue. So now you get another 8 sessions just to do the depression.
Okay.
Maybe you and your partner want to do couples therapy. If your partner lives in the same house with you, they also get your EAP benefits. So that would be your 8 sessions plus their 8 sessions. So y'all end up with 16 sessions just for the couples therapy. So a lot of people don't even know their company has an EAP.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You could use that trick to just go through your whole thing, and then it resets at the end of the year. So you can start all over in January with the same issues.
I mean, they taking that money out my check every week.
Okay. Yeah. Might as well use it.
Better use that money.
Right.
Exactly. Right.
Shout out to Quincy Million in the building, y'all. So we're gonna real quick go over, and I just want to show everybody y'all's y'all's 3 channels that y'all have.
Okay.
Let me go ahead. You good? Let me go ahead and share my screen, and I am going to go to TMV Nation first. So this is TMV Nation.
That's what.
So this is TMV. Let me get this off the screen. Sorry. So this is TMV Nation. This is Vaughn and Tawana's joint channel right here, y'all. As y'all can see, TMV Nation for the ones that don't know. These are their, if you go all the way back, you're going to see mukbangs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to go all the way back. You're going to see the mukbangs and the challenges and all that good stuff. But once you come current, as you can see, you're going to see a lot of reviews. You're going to see cooking. It's a variety channel. It's a lot of stuff on here that y'all can go on here, and it's entertaining. The editing is great. Thumbnails are off the chain. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, y'all definitely not going to be disappointed. You can actually binge watch because it's a lot of content on this channel. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate y'all, man.
But and then we also have. Okay, let me stop that one. Then we also have Tawana's channels, and I'm going to go to. Okay, and I'm gonna let Tawana go ahead and tell y'all about Live Beautifully Natural.
Yeah, this is just a beauty channel that I started maybe a little over a year ago. So I do videos on handbags, I do beauty videos, I do lifestyle videos, I have some vlogs. I do unboxings and hauls and things like that. So if you are into girly content, then you might like to check out some of my videos there. I love making videos on this channel. It's super fun. I do it for me. It's exciting. So yeah, check it out if you're into girly stuff.
And as y'all can see, she is at 591 subscribers. So how about we get her to 600 right now?
Oh, thank you. So
Y'all,
sweet.
everybody can just hit that link right there. Live Beautifully Natural. And let's go ahead and get her to 600 right here on the social. Then come on, I know our people can make that happen. We got 18 people in here. So
let's start. Hey, CJ, I'm gonna put you on blast, man. Let's start with you because I see you ain't subscribed.
You're so wrong.
I mean,
we didn't know this page was here.
Okay, right.
What you gonna do?
Slap that subscribe button.
So I can do it
Oh,
for
yeah.
I don't want to subscribe no girly content.
My wife can watch it.
Yeah.
My wife can watch it. So there
You
we
might find them a good moisturizer.
go.
Good skincare routine.
So, they making it happen. You at 595. So slowly but surely.
Oh, thank y'all. So sweet. Appreciate y'all.
Going to the last one, which is Tawana Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna let you talk about that one as well.
Yeah, this is my recovery channel. The banner at the top says turning trauma into triumph. And so that's what I talk about. I make videos about how to heal from trauma, how to heal from narcissistic abuse, and just different topics regarding relationships, how to identify red flags in relationships, how to learn how to have healthy relationships. Because if we have not witnessed healthy relationships growing up, we did not have that with our parents, we are not going to know how to have that as adults. We have to learn how to do that. We have to learn how to recognize when a relationship is not healthy and when we're in a situation that is abusive. There's a lot of emotional abuse that we don't necessarily recognize as abuse, and it is, and it's very damaging. So I really help with self-love, self-worth, building up self-esteem, recovering from interpersonal trauma, and just reconnecting more with yourself. So yeah, check out my channel if you can, if you're interested in that type of content.
There it is.
Risa Tisa should have checked out your channel.
For real. Oh, that was crazy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Look, Rain said the same thing. Risa Tisa needed this. She sure did, because she missed all them red flags. Every last one.
And you know what's so sad about that is that's such a common thing. So many women do. So many women miss the red flags because they're not right within themselves, and they're so desperate for love that they can't see when they're being manipulated. They're being love bombed. They need that love to feel good about themselves. They don't have worth and validation within themselves. And it's easy to fall for somebody like that. So Risa Tisa's story is so common. I work with so many women, and I'm listening to stories very similar. I'm like, how you didn't see those red flags? But you know, how I got into this, I've been in a relationship in my life where I didn't see the red flags. And I experienced some of these things personally. So the information that I share is based on professional knowledge, training, and experience, and also personal. Because I know I've been probably just as stupid as Risa Tisa. Like, girl, what was you thinking? And so I had to look at myself and say, okay, it's something with me. And I got to look at healing myself and building myself up so that I won't ever find myself in one of these relationships again. So it's so common. And I'm so glad that Risa Tisa put a story out there, because they got a lot of women looking at their relationships and looking at their dude side eye, like, I don't know about him.
Right.
You know, which is good. Yeah.
Coming out of a situation like that, like, how do you begin to even trust again to go into another relationship?
It is so hard. It really is. You really won't, and you can't trust again until you heal the damage that's been done. And so I usually recommend that people coming out of those relationships wait at least a year before getting into another relationship and really healing and grieving. A lot of the healing is grief work, because you lose so much, and the most important thing that you lose is your own self-worth, your own self-concept, your sense of who you are. You lose your sense of safety in relationships and in the world, and you don't know who to trust. And one thing is, you know, to be transparent, Vaughn is probably the healthiest partner that I've had. And because I wasn't used to healthy relationships, I was suspicious about things that he was doing. So sometimes that trauma gets triggered and you start to question, is this person safe? And so it comes back up, and you have to learn to look for signs of safety in your relationships. You have to be able to distinguish between a past feeling, a past memory, and what's actually happening. Just because it feels the same doesn't mean it's the same. And even now, I tell myself a lot. If Vaughn and I get into an argument about something and I'm feeling threatened and I don't have a reason to feel threatened, I have to tell myself, just because this feels threatening to me doesn't mean it is. I'm having an emotional flashback from my past. So you have to have mindfulness. You have to be aware, because if you're not aware of what you're feeling, you're just going to react. And then, you know, your healthy partner that you would be like, what I do? You know?
Right.
And he did nothing. It's just that I was triggered. And so, yeah, giving yourself space to heal from those relationships, and then learning, because everything feels unsafe after that. Right. Learning to distinguish the difference between what is actually safe and what feels unsafe because it reminds you of something from your past.
Yeah. And those triggers are real. Like, everything that I went through last year, I am now able to see and learn that a lot of things trigger me from my childhood.
Yes.
PJ, I talk to him a lot about like his tone with certain things.
Mhm.
It's a trigger for me because of the way my mom used to say things. And I'm just now realizing it at the age of 38. So now I'm
Yes.
trying to figure out like, how do I move past it? Like, how can I get these triggers to go away? Because it sets me off. But I have to tell myself, I know my husband didn't mean it that way. I
Yeah.
know that that's just him. But sometimes we'll bump heads because it
Yeah.
just sets something off.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it takes a while before it goes away, and sometimes it never goes away absolutely completely, but you become more aware of it. And then going back to that place in your childhood where it actually occurred and doing some work on that is also a big part of the healing. Being able to kind of examine those relationships and what it meant and what it felt like, and being able to change our belief systems about what we experience. Because I had similar things that happened in my childhood. And so that led me to have certain beliefs about myself and about relationships. And so I had to go back and work through that and grieve that and recognize that whatever my parents were not able to do was not about me. And if I can let go of that, then I don't have to have my guard up. I don't have to feel so attacked, because even though sometimes I get triggered and I do feel that way, but it's really just being aware of that and working through that original wound, because that original wound is what causes the trigger in the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I'll share something with y'all, and I know we need to wrap up here in a minute. But on the man side of that, not the man side of her issue, but I mean like my issues.
Right.
I came out of my childhood thinking, oh, I had a good childhood. I didn't have no trauma. There was no substance abuse, not in my house at least, and other family members. But I didn't realize until a few years ago, it's like, yeah, I didn't have no huge trauma, but being raised by a single mom, actually a house full of women, because it was my mom, my grandmother, and then my aunt lived maybe an hour and a half away. So she was over there a lot. That I tend to get triggered by certain things that she says, certain ways that she acts. And it took me a long time to realize my mama used to do this. And I didn't even know it was an issue.
Yeah.
And it's like being a grown man and feeling that all of a sudden, it's like, that whole, now I'm reacting to it. I didn't react as a child, but it's coming up now. And so, a lot of people are at the other end of that and find themselves like thinking everything's fine and you having problems and blaming it on everybody else. And it's like, wait a minute, this is me. So she's a lot further along in her recovery and healing and growth and all that than she is. I'm still working on this stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, that's something to look at too for people.
Absolutely.
Like they say, nobody's perfect.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Nobody is.
You're right about that.
I never thought I was perfect, but I didn't know I had issues like I do.
Right. Absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
Dr. Trump had a good question. She said, so the question is, how do you heal?
You heal by first finding a way to feel safe within your body and to feel safe within your environment. That means removing yourself from anybody that is hurtful and harmful to you and seeking out people who are supportive. If you have a support system, friends or family, connecting with those people. And then you have to actually allow yourself to feel those emotions that have been suppressed as you were in those abusive relationships, or if it stems from childhood and you have not allowed yourself to feel that, you actually have to go back to that place and you have to be able to explore, what am I feeling? What did I feel back then? Because that little girl inside of you or that little boy inside of you that felt maybe unloved as a child, or maybe you didn't get your needs met, or maybe a parent wasn't there and you felt abandoned. You have to go back to that little child inside of you that is still wounded, and you have to allow yourself to feel that. We tend to not like to feel emotions. Many of us, especially as Black people, grew up in families where we weren't allowed to cry or be mad or be angry or be upset, or they'll give you something to cry about. So we learn to stuff our emotions. And so all that stuff during childhood, it has to be felt, it has to be experienced. And if your experience of trauma is in adult relationships, regardless of what it is, you have to be able to go back and experience that. And a big part of it is grieving for yourself, grieving for what you didn't get or what you did experience that was harmful. And grief looks different for everybody. But a big part of grief is usually some feelings of sadness, some feelings of anger, having ways to express that, allowing yourself to cry when you need to. I almost always will give my clients assignments, and usually those assignments will include closure letters where you are saying to that person, whether it's mama, daddy, ex-partner, whoever, where you are telling them what they did and how it made you feel and what you needed. And at the end of that closure letter, you're saying, I'm choosing to let this go.
Right.
And maybe I'm choosing to forgive. And doing that letter is only symbolic. It doesn't go away after that. Sometimes you keep writing it. But the reality is healing happens when we face these emotions and when we face these situations instead of moving away from it. And trauma, one of the main hallmarks of trauma is avoidance. We
Right.
avoid those painful feelings, those painful memories, those painful situations and people. When we heal, we have to move toward it, not away from it. And we have to have some tools. A therapist can help you. Even now, there's a lot of helpful information on the internet that can give you some tools where you can cope effectively with any intense emotions that come up, because some uncomfortable emotions are going to come up. And that's one of the reasons doing trauma healing is recommended to do with someone, because you're going to need support and help in dealing with those intense emotions as they come up. But it's really a matter of allowing yourself to feel what you didn't feel, facing it, and regaining a sense of safety within yourself and within your environment and within your relationships.
Wow.
That's powerful, man.
Whew.
That's powerful. Look, you said the same thing Chocolate Drop said.
Mm.
And Chocolate Drop also said, is that where the saying hurt people hurt people? I think that's one of the realest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a real quote. That's
It
a real,
is.
hurt people definitely hurt people.
You know,
Vicky Boo.
Hey, Vicky. Vicky's World in the building, y'all. Everybody say what's up to Vicky's World.
Hey, Vicky.
14
Vicky.
in the building. And Rain also said, I need counseling immediately. I try to pray through it, but I continuously push people away because of my past.
You ain't let them
She's
in.
gonna get that Louisiana license, Rain. But in the meantime, Psychology Today,
And mental health match.
Mental Health Match, Black Girls, Therapy for Black Girls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
y'all see them all in the chat. So even if you got to scroll back up, you can do so if they all in the chat. And there's a lot of resources that Vaughn dropped in the chat. They also gave y'all the okay to, jump in there, go to their IG. And if y'all have any questions about their practices or anything, information that y'all want to ask them, stuff like that as well. So
I just put another one in there. So the Boris L. Henson Foundation. That's I hope I spelled Henson right, but that's Taraji P. Henson's foundation. She started that. Is her name Hensen or Son? If it don't come up like that, then it's Sen.
No, that's her name, Henson.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she founded that in memory of her own father. Y'all, and Taraji herself has shared, some of the mental health issues she struggled with herself, but they also will pay for people's therapy. I don't know how many sessions, but that's another resource.
Yeah.
Rain said, I want to type so much, but this is not the time. You guys have enlightened me. Thank you. You see what I'm saying? See?
I like this. Yeah. This is good.
You got to, talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
The best start is acknowledging you need help and not be ashamed.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's definitely
100%. Yeah.
definitely true. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, I'm late and y'all have touched on that, but for our folks, it'd be the pride that stops us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Really
It's
pride.
definitely pride. And then, a lot of the times it's just like a lot of people just not comfortable going to a stranger and talking about their life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then if they finally do go, it's up to that therapist to make them comfortable. And
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So,
it is.
But yeah, man, this has been great, man. And I wish we could have more time, You know what I'm saying? We that might have to do a part 2.
I was about to say, me in
Yeah,
part
sure,
2.
Might have to
absolutely.
do a part 2.
Yeah.
And make this happen. And then maybe on part 2 we can invite some people up on the panel,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and just make it special.
We would love that. Man.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
absolutely.
be
Yeah.
in contact with y'all, and I think we can definitely solidify that. Make that happen.
Yeah.
This is my kind of conversation. I'm definitely running. Yeah, run it back, Vic.
It's definitely my kind of conversation too.
Yeah.
That's why I was so excited when he finally was able to reach
Absolutely.
Good.
out of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's very informative. I know. A lot of people saw that me and Vaughn was going to be up there. We was going to be acting a fool the whole time. You know what I'm saying? We picked y'all. This was dope. You know what I'm saying? So, Vaughn and Tawana, before we go, is there anything that y'all have coming up, or for y'all channels, or is there any advice that y'all would like to give people before we part?
Nothing coming up that I want to put out there yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have anything?
Yeah, I don't really have anything coming up. The only advice I want to give to everybody is to invest in yourself. And if that means putting your pride aside and seeking out help and finding a therapist that you feel comfortable with. And there's nothing wrong with, shopping around. If the therapist don't make you feel comfortable, find another one. You'll eventually find the right one. It really is about having the right match, the right fit between the client and the therapist. And so I really do believe that's the best thing. One of the best things that you can ever do for yourself is to get some help if you need it, and to heal from anything that is unhealed. And you're really going to feel like a better version of yourself. You'll be able to be a better version of whatever other roles you're in. If you're a spouse, if you're a parent, it's life-changing. It literally is.
It is.
That's some
That's some great
advice.
Great advice. And y'all, I see y'all standing in the chat as well for part 2. So we're gonna definitely make that happen. We're gonna make that second one special.
So let me ask this question for those of y'all that's saying part 2. How would y'all feel about like an open mic type of night for part 2?
What you mean open mic?
For people, like you said, they can come up on the panel, say what they gotta say. Uncle Vaughn or Tawana can give some advice, or as a group we can discuss it.
Yeah.
Special.
Yeah, be down for that.
Yeah, that would be. I think that would be real dope. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
I see a lot of people already asking for it and want it. So
Vicky said part 2 or a podcast. Cough, cough.
I would definitely tap in.
Yeah.
Anytime that people could come to the social den and walk away with something, we know that we did our job. You know what I'm saying? And our guests did their job.
I'm gonna also send y'all all those resources all together. Okay. That way you can put it in the description box, and that way people don't have to scroll through the chat trying to find all those things.
Absolutely.
It'll be helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, you can send them all to me, and I'll throw them in the description box.
Yeah.
Vicky said, "I need my own session." Me too, Vicky. I was mad when because I was showing up on the call.
Yeah, said she'll support it. So yeah, okay, all right, y'all.
Yeah.
We're gonna get with Ron and Tawana. We're gonna make it happen.
Okay, sounds good.
We'll be ready.
All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all for coming out tonight. We're about to get out of here. Ron and Tawana, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all so much. It was an honor to have y'all on the show. Very informative, and we couldn't ask for a better show. This was so dope, and definitely looking forward to part 2. And if y'all could just stay where y'all are, we're gonna talk to y'all backstage after the show real quick.
All right.
Everybody, we love y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here. We love y'all next week, same time, different guests. We're gonna, have another, hopefully have another great show, man. It's 24 episodes in, and y'all been loving it, man. And we definitely appreciate the support. We love y'all. God bless you all. Have a great rest of your night. Babe, you got anything to say?
Nope. Everybody stay blessed.
Stay blessed. And like we always say, make sure you tell somebody you love them if you haven't already, because tomorrow is not what?
Promise.
Y'all have a wonderful rest of your evening, everybody. And until next time, folks, peace.
Bye.
Y'all take care.
Bye.